Hey Wanderer, welcome back to the curious journey where we explore stories that echo through time and maybe through us too. Last time, we watched the people finally step into the promised land with Joshua leading them. It was victory, fulfillment, everything they'd been waiting for. But after the battle stopped, so did their focus, and that's where Judges begins. The book of Judges opens like a quiet unraveling. The generation that saw the miracles, the walls of Jericho crumble, the Jordan split in two, they pass away. The next generation grows up in comfort, not wilderness. They inherit the land but not the lessons. They forget who brought them there, and when they forget, things start to fall apart. Without strong leadership, tribes scatter. Without unity, their enemies grow bold again. The same land that was supposed to be their peace becomes their battlefield all over again. Judges has a rhythm. Painful, predictable, human. The people turn away from God. They chase other idols, things that promise control, pleasure, safety, validation. They start living by instinct, not wisdom. So their enemies' nations they once defeated return stronger. Life gets hard, they cry out for help, and every time God sends a judge. Not a courtroom judge, but a leader, a warrior, a rescuer. Each one rises for a season, they fight, the people find peace. But as soon as the judge dies, the cycle resets. It's like watching a loop, faith to freedom, freedom to forgetfulness, forgetfulness to fall. Again and again, a nation addicted to short memories. And here's where the book gets wild because the judges. They're not perfect heroes, they're complex, flawed, deeply human. There's Ehud who delivers a nation with a daring act of courage that reads like a spy movie. Deborah, a prophetess and the only female judge, leads an army into victory when men around her hesitate. Her story is courage wrapped in quiet strength. Then comes Gideon, hiding in fear, calling himself the weakest in his clan, but God calls him mighty warrior. And here is the twist, God tells Gideon to shrink his army from 32,000 to 300 men. 300 against thousands. Because sometimes God doesn't want us to win by power but by trust. Then there's Jephthah the outcast who makes a reckless vow that costs him deeply, and Samson the strongest man in the Bible, yet undone by his own weakness. His story is equal parts tragic and poetic, strength without wisdom, power without peace. In his final act, blinded and broken, he brings down the temple on his enemies and himself. It's redemption born out of ruin. Each judge shows us something that God can use anyone, even the flawed, the forgotten, the ones who fail their own potential. But as the book goes on, the light fades. The people stop calling out as often. The judges become more corrupt. The tribes start fighting each other instead of their enemies. The stories turn darker. Violence, betrayal, civil war. By the end, Israel isn't just lost, it's fractured. There's this gut punch of a verse that repeats like a broken record. In those days, there was no king in Israel. Everyone did what was right in their own eyes. That's the ache of judges' freedom without order. Faith without foundation, people chasing their own truth until it breaks them. It's easy to read Judges and think, wow, they were a mess. But it's more than ancient history, it's a mirror. How often do we live the same pattern? Drift, fall, cry, rise. Repeat, we forget in the good times what we learned in the hard ones, and still, like in Judges, grace keeps returning. God doesn't give up on people who keep giving up on Him. The whole book whispers one question: when there's no leader, no anchor, no truth, who do you become? It's the ache of the human heart craving guidance, stability, redemption, and setting the stage for a king to come. So maybe Judges isn't just about warriors or prophets, maybe it's about us. How easy it is to lose ourselves when comfort replaces calling. But even in chaos, the story's not over. Stay curious, wanderer. Next stop, Ruth. A story of love, loyalty, and quiet redemption rising from the ruins.